Wonderful people, I'm sure you're all new here, so welcome to the channel. If your childhood was anything like mine, I'm sure you remember being glued to your computer screen. And one of my all-time favorite games was The Sims. I mean, I have well over 2,000 hours on my Origin account. Talk about a hermit. But after going through the old games, I can't help but wish I spent those 2,000 hours elsewhere. I mean, hey, don't get me wrong, I love The Sims 4, but we as a community deserve better. Unfortunately, due to no fault of my own, I wasn't around for the first couple of games. The Sims the video game was released by EA on February 4th, 2000. The Sims are kinda like Tamagotchis that just get depressed. I mean, the Sims have a mind of their own, but they're still pretty dumb. Your Sims can die from fire, starvation, mad guinea pig disease, you name it. That's where you, as the player, come in to prevent or cause their death, depending on how you play. After creating your characters, you can pick a lot to bulldoze or add on to. The Sims franchise continued to grow in popularity after creating expansion packs that added features to the game, such as the Grim Reaper, Destinations, Dumb Ways to Die, and more. As much as I'd love to get into every single expansion pack that the Sims franchise has released, this video would be way too long. So instead, I'm gonna give you the rundown. Living large, house party, hot date, vacation, unleashed, superstar, making magic, The Sims Online, The Sims Busting Out, and herbs. The Sims 2 was released on September 14th, 2004, bringing a fresh new redesign to The Sims and how they work. Some notable additions that made this game such a good sequel experience include the expanded Create a Sim menu, new life stages, wants and fears, aspirations, turnoffs, and more. The Sims 2 is no stranger to expansion packs and even introduces new stuff packs, a smaller array of items and activities. The Sims 2 packs included University, Nightlife, Pets, Seasons, Bon Voyage, Apartment Life, Family Fun Stuff, Glamour, Happy Holiday, Celebration, H&M Fashion, Kitchen and Bath Interior, IKEA Home, and finally, Mansion and Garden Stuff. Sims Emotions received a huge overhaul with this game. Your actions have consequences, and EA was going to make sure you know it. The social interactions were much more complex. The cutscenes during an important life event added so much more story to the game. There are so many different stories and lives to play around with, as well as the ability to create your own. We see the return of the Goths, the Pleasants, and many other friendly faces, as well as the introduction to the Landgraf family. The Sims 2 sold 13 million copies, making it one of the best-selling games in 2012. The Sims decided to take a new direction with narrative gameplay, releasing The Sims Life Stories, Pet Stories, and my personal favorite, Castaway Stories. While researching for this video, I also found some really niche games. Some I've never really heard about, some I adore, but I really think that they deserve a mention. The Sims Social was a Flash-based Facebook game created in August 2011, but didn't last long due to underwhelming player response. The Sims Carnival was a short, score-based game. It debuted in 2008, with the idea being that players could make their very own games. But don't ask me what the plot point is, because after that research, I still can't really tell. There are apparently 2 versions of this game floating around somewhere. My Sims. My Sims was a console-based game marketed towards the younger generations. Some of you guys are gonna be really mad at me, but when I played this game, I did not like it. I mean, I was definitely their target demographic, but this game just didn't do it for me. And if it did it for you, that's okay. I just think that the whole rebuilding an entire city screams too much for me. And don't get me started on Mayor P. Rosalind Marshall. She can go suck it for all I care. Why are you so lazy? How did you let your town get like this? And why am I, the player, the one fixing it? I can't speak for the other 5 versions. I didn't really bother playing them, but I always did appreciate the art style. Let's get into the best Sims base game of all time. The Sims Medieval was created on an engine much like The Sims 3, but plays much different. Released in 2011, The Sims Medieval has 1 expansion pack, Pirates and Nobles. No, but for real, The Sims 3 was released in 2009. The Sims 3 was the most favored amongst the community and rivaled its competitors for generations. What made The Sims 3 so good, you're asking? Or maybe you're not, because you've already played and you already know. The Sims 3 literally opened the Sims world, being the first open-world Sims game, allowing you to step into your neighborhood unlike ever before. Sunset Valley, the base game world, does an amazing job at this by bringing back nostalgic families from the previous games and introducing new ones. There were a few black hole locations that were unexplorable, such as work and school, but with the map size and the ability to venture without a loading screen, it feels like much more freedom than we get in The Sims 4. Customization is at an all-time high in The Sims 3 with the ability to create a style, letting you customize the color and pattern of pretty much everything. These improvements, the tiny details that give a game a little more personality, and the care put into The Sims 3 is what made it so loved by the community. The Sims 3 stood strong from 2009 until 2014, when it was ultimately overshadowed by The Sims 4. But before that, they were able to excite their fanbase with the release of 11 expansion packs and 9 stuff packs. From building on seasons, pets, and university, to new additions such as Katy Perry's Sweet Treats. That's it. Those are all of the expansions. The Sims 4 has nothing close to Katy Perry's Sweet Treats, and it really shows. There was a lot of hype and expectations set up by the Sims team pre-release. Lots of promises, and honestly, lots of features to be expected, as well as the new way that Sims emotions were organized and developed into gameplay. The Sims 4 released with 2 worlds, Oasis Springs and Willow Creek, eventually releasing an empty neighborhood for free a bit later. But after devoted Simmers got their hands on this game, they realized something was off. Much of the charm of what made The Sims was missing. Not only that, but basic features were missing too. A whole life generation missing. And don't get me started on how teens are genuinely just young adults that need to get good grades. Elders too. Oh right, and babies are literal objects. Some features that completely left behind, never to return, were some of the customization options for favorite food, music, and horoscope. Fears, good eyelashes, cars, newspapers, a memory system whatsoever, no black hole buildings, some of the best personality traits, no creative style, and finally, the most heartbreaking, no creative world. Now, I guess you could call these nitpicking, and I get that when you create a new game, not everything is going to translate over or even be the same. But creating features that replace or expand on what made your previous game so good is what makes a sequel enjoyable. Why do you think no one likes Overwatch 2? That's a video for another time. The Sims 4 released with so many features missing, which paved the way for capitalization. Stuff packs, kit packs, expansion packs. So many things were missing that it made the game fall flat for me and so many others. Pools were missing for what? Like at least a year? Hey, at least we got a beach and had to pay for island living. Unique interactions and animations in the previous games are replaced with the same couple of presets for each emotional chat. That open world thing I was talking about earlier with The Sims 3? Nuked. Every lot you travel to is hidden behind a load screen, which only gets worse if you're a custom content or expansion pack enjoyer like myself. Or, honestly, if you don't have a $2,000 handmade home-built gaming PC, this game's not keeping up. The Sims 4 tried to make up for some of its shortcomings by releasing some of these features for free through updates and patches, but these features still can't help but feel lackluster. Toddlers were introduced to The Sims 4 in January 2017, following their 2 new packs in May 2017. Toddlers were and are glitchy. It feels like their only purpose is to build skills and age up, even with an entire pack dedicated to parenthood. I can complain about what The Sims 4 did wrong for hours, but it's important to recognize what can make The Sims 5 the best game of the Sims franchise. The base game for The Sims 5 needs to be good enough to play on its own. That's why it's the base game. Dedicating time to code and animate different actions, unique behaviors based on emotion and personality is what makes The Sims so lifelike and immersive. It's what gives The Sims personality. I don't want to see the same 2 looped animations anymore, and personally, I won't stand for it. Unique interactions and happenings such as the burglar, cutscenes, or random calls and texts add so much life to the game. The Sims 4 doesn't not have this, but it's the same text about your distant relative dying and leaving you a large sum of money. Create a style and create a world. Honestly, as an artist, I loved these features, and it felt like it added so much depth to my Sims families, and I would do anything to see it come back. I am so tired of using the same uninspired color schemes for my build. The developers working on the Sims team should take care and consideration making expansion packs that make sense and actually add content to the base game when working on The Sims 5. Get to Work was one of the first expansion packs released in The Sims 4, which adds going to work with your sim. obviously. This pack just wasn't good, and I remember being 15, spending my hard-earned minimum wage money on this pack and literally thinking that I wish I could refund it. You should be able to tell a teen, an elder, and a young adult apart. They should do different things. They should have different animations. Details such as shorter teens or an elder that comes with a cane or a wheelchair is what makes a game immersive. And at the end of the day, if The Sims 5 is still bad, at least we have Paralives to look forward to. Unfortunately, that's going to be it for today, but I'm going to see you guys next time. Bye!